We're doing an open discussion. Peace, 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 peace. Open discussion. Open discussion. Personally, what do you love about yourself? I asked you guys earlier, do you take the time out to look at yourself in the mirror, forgive yourself, talk to yourself, heal yourself? What do you love about yourself personally? Why are we so afraid about this? Who we actually are. What do you love about yourself? Ask yourself that question. It could be rhetorical. You could type that in the comments. It could be whatever. But what do you truly love about yourself? And the things that you love, did you cultivate them by way of having external influences or your own internal influences that you experience? What do you love about yourself? Do you love yourself? That's the question. Open discussion. Regardless of what you believe, regardless of what you're into, yourself. Do you love yourself? How do you define yourself? Who is you? Are you the individual that your parents raised? You know what I'm saying? Which I'm not saying that wasn't, you know, a key thing in your life as well, but we understand that our cells, they tell you that your cells change from 7 to 10 years, right? That's really not true for real, for real. They change, but they change at all types of different rates. So aligning yourself as far as getting your thoughts together, healing yourself, you know what I'm saying? Going within or whatever, you will start to make those functions or those organs or cells or whatever properly function. And then whatever they say, when they say, oh, they change and, every several years or whatever, you become a new individual. Sometimes we begin, or not begin, we just continue doing the same thing. So our cells, our organs, all of this don't function properly. Definitely our spiritual attributes don't function properly. What does love mean first? What do you mean, what does love mean? What kind of question is that? You do know what love is. We're not in that type of school. What love am I talking about? It's self-love. What does love mean for you? I can't tell you what love means for you. And my definition of love, right, shouldn't be of concern. Your definition of love should be concern. That's the question. That's why it could be rhetorical. You don't have to answer it, but do you ask yourself that? All of this, you want to be deep. What does love mean? Love is unconditional in my eyes. Love is without condition. So whatever you do, if I say I love you, if I don't agree with what you do, you get what I'm talking about? It just is what it is. But some people got a different view of it. You know what I'm talking about? But ultimately, all of the ancients talk about self-love. But I'm asking, do you love yourself? It's maybe okay loving oneself more than we know. Just maybe. Are you asking me loving yourself we avoid dying? I can't answer that because I really don't know what you're trying to ask. One world order, one bank. Hey man, that's not what this is about. This is about self-love. See, individuals get on here and they would talk about other stuff. When I give you the opportunity to talk about these things, like at the later on, I'd be like, oh, I got questions to answer. Nobody never talks about it. So I know the serious individuals are trying to get the information. Ask yourself this question: do you love yourself? What does one world order, one world bank, what does that have to do with self-love, self-healing, self-forgiveness? That has nothing to do with that. You guys, we have something called an attention span, right? And in spirituality, you have to have a strong attention span. You have to have strong concentration. Because what you're concentrating on is what you want the most. So think about it like this. Some of us may want spiritual enlightenment, whatever we deem it is, okay? But the things we pay attention to the most are what we really want for real, even if we don't know it. So people that talk about things that go on in the world, like right now, because it is things. I'm not saying when you're spiritual you can't be aware of it. You're definitely going to be aware of it. But what you focus on the more is what you actually want. In actuality, you are the one you have a hand in it. You know what I'm talking about? In its creation. Whatever you focus on, you're giving energy to. You know what I'm talking about? When I ask you, do you love yourself? And nobody wants to talk about loving their self. I know that you're not giving no attention to yourself. And when we're talking about spirituality, that's the most important thing that you can do. That's it. If we ain't talking about that, because right now we could talk about all types of other things. But the topic at hand is, do you love yourself? It's an open discussion on self-love. That's it. We want a deep conversation. Where that deep conversation gonna get us if we truly don't love ourselves? We have messed up family. We have messed up relationship with our family. Where is that going to get us if we don't truly love ourselves? We have family members. We have people in our lives, all type of stuff that we deal with, right? And if we don't love ourselves, we come in contact with toxic individuals, toxic family members, toxic situations, you know? And you feel like out of the manipulation that you gain from them or whatever, they're making me feel like I don't love them because what I'm doing, they don't like what I'm doing or whatever. It don't matter about anybody. I'm telling you to find out the talents that you have. It don't matter what it is, what you're into. What don't nobody disagree with, it does not matter. You find that, you master that, you know what I'm saying? You share it, but ultimately you want to find this sort of love. We say peace. What is peace? Peace to me is not being bothered. Peace could be something else to somebody else. So you can't ask an individual, like, what is love to them? Like, what is love? You look the definition up, and it's just going to say that. How do we do that in the ancient times? You had different spirits that they personalized it so you can access it. Love and anything else is really complex. Everything about life is complex because it comes outside of you, right? But you're unique. We're not all the same. We share the same qualities. We can have the same experience. It personally will not be the same experience, but if one goes inside their self and you sit the next person that does that right next to them, the story will sound similar. This is why all of the religions sound similar. Because ain't nobody just sat there and just came up with it. When you talking about, oh, it was plagiarized, it was this, it was that. Ain't nobody just sat there and just came up with it. They had to take it from somewhere. But the individuals they took it from brought it here. Came like they brought it outside of themselves. Manifestation. And recorded that. Gotta understand why we recorded it. But that's not even what this is about. I want you to get back to that love, that self-love. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to speak your piece. It's okay to know what you know and stand on that. You know what I'm talking about? And if you are an individual that's in your own way, right? You can forgive yourself for doing this, for not allowing yourself to accomplish certain goals that you wanted to accomplish. You know you want to accomplish that you needed to. You gotta forgive yourself. Man, listen, man. Self Self-hate, you can't do that. That's low vibration. I don't know why you saying that. I don't know what you're going through. But whatever you're going through, right, is not as bad as what you've been going through all these lifetimes, being here, having this human existence. So what you truly are so much more complex than the experience that you're having right now. Don't be that selfish to yourself to say, I hate myself. I can't do. What you mean? You can do anything you want to do, anything you put your mind to. What are you talking about? I don't want to be like someone else. Is this love for me? Is this love for myself? Yeah, I'm talking about self. What kind of question is that when I'm talking about self-love? The objective is not to be like somebody else. The objective is to be like who you are. But you have to figure out who that is. Now, it's going to be individuals that's similar like you, but that's okay. You don't be egotistical and just be like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? Well, this is just what I'm. You do what you do and naturally do that. You will never be able to accomplish anything if you're not being yourself. That it don't matter what that is. So yeah, it's about loving yourself. And I'm not telling you you can't love nobody else, but we fall short thinking that we loving individuals or whatever when we just getting manipulated. Is what I'm saying. So before you can go out expressing your love for individuals, you have to first express that self-love. Because certain individuals are just around us just because they're around us. And because of that, it does not allow us to become who we actually are. When you start tapping into that, you're going to start to see it's going to start to be a division. And you're going to be lonely. This is when they say it's going to be a lonely journey. However it happens. But you want to build your own spiritual community from within, is what I'm saying. I don't know what nobody been through, but I know it ain't easy. And we've all had a hard life. Us that's sitting here right now, we all had a hard life. Those rich people, those celebrities, all that, they can say what they want to say. That's cool, right? But systematically, you can say they were set up for that. It's different. Those type of individuals is not going to go through what we're going through right now to reach what we're trying to reach. They're not even aware of what's going on. Granted, you have some what do you call that, exceptions, but it's not the overall thing, you know. But self-love is the best love. And if y'all don't have that, I urge you to acquire it. However, whatever, whenever, however it transpires inside of you. But search for that. And the first things I can tell you is to literally look in the mirror, forgive yourself, tell yourself you actually love yourself. We sit around waiting for somebody else to tell us that so we can feel loved. What if nobody ever told you that? And don't sit here and ask me, why does this matter? Why do you think it matters? Love is why you're here. Love is what keeps bringing you back here. The things that you love to do. You might not even know you love to do them. What do you do every single day? Subconsciously. I don't know, but you know. There's certain things that we do, we feel like we can't live without. Right? Really, truly understand who you really are on an intimate level. You say spiritual, but learn who you are on an intimate level. Because some people are not going to like that. And that's okay. You got to like it. You have to accept it because it's you. You can't try to change yourself in a way that will make somebody else comfortable, make somebody else feel good. You can't do that, right? And you have to allow yourself to be, what's that word? You have to allow yourself to be able to be gone from other people. You know what I'm saying? That can't understand you. That's not with it. Because what you're doing is, right, when you're around individuals that's not with what you with, you lowering your vibration. You have to stoop to somebody's level to be able to exist with them. Remember I told y'all, if you tap into your chakras, and then as soon as you reach your heart chakra, you feel what I'm saying? You this is actually self-love. You feel I'm talking about unconditional self-love. So can't nobody penetrate that. You know what I'm saying? But if you around somebody and they vibrating low or whatever, and you trying to sit there and coexist with them, then you're gonna lower your vibration as well. You can't raise them up because they're not open. You was already open and done what you done to get where you was at right now. It's not gonna take what you done for them to get to where you are, or higher, or whatever. It's always a personal thing. So that's why you gotta say, beat me there, don't meet me there. It's not a race, it's not none of that. It's all about one's own time. Even though I say time, I feel like time don't exist. It's all about doing it on your own time. Everybody woke up today around a different time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their own circadian rhythm. If I woke you up 2-3 minutes earlier before what you normally get up, you would cuss me out. It don't matter how friendly we are with each other. That's the same thing. People will curse you out over this knowledge. So I'm trying to get. But you gotta definitely love yourself. I don't know where we get that at. You all you got. First and foremost, you the sole controller of your reality. The only way an individual can feel like that is because the society has made them feel like that. Society should make you feel like nothing. Society is trying to, but society shouldn't have that power over your mind. You know what I'm saying? Rather not, we was in physical shackles of slavery. We definitely are in mental shackles of slavery right now. Now the ones that's waking up, becoming conscious of who they are, they definitely breaking those shackles. But the rest of society is mentally enslaved. Maybe that's what it was to begin with. Maybe that's what they wanted to begin with. If it's that easy, right? And I'm not saying it is, but if it's that easy for them to just brainwash you like that, it should be that easy for you to unlearn all of the negative influences that you deem negative, that dictated your life, your pace, and the actions, and how you feel towards things. Society had you thinking you crazy for feeling a certain type of way about a certain type of happening in the ancient times. When all that is you just got a certain type of connection to it. You do got to remember that our ancestors, our true ancestors or whatever, is the real forefathers of humanity, not of America. They talk about the forefathers of America. Our ancestors are the forefathers of humanity. Civilization, everything. And you come equipped with all of that memory inside of you. What does that make you? To not love yourself. If you didn't like this place, you can leave. You don't gotta be here. That's why we here. We came here and had that experience. Some of us is gonna feel that way, but you don't leave with that feeling. You don't leave with that feeling. You leave with what works for you, and hating yourself is not gonna work for you. I'm sorry. I don't want to get into the negativity, but you here for a reason. So I gotta share it with you. You know what I'm talking about? If you was a negative individual, right, then I just wouldn't care. But an individual that's here, that's spitting, well, not spitting, but like here for the knowledge or whatever, I have the compassion for that individual soul. This our only way. Other individuals then what's that word? They done made the pact already. They dealing with what they dealing with. You done chose otherwise. So it's our right by conscious individuals to look out for one another, for real, for real. What we doing is ultimately helping what you would call society in the first place. I told you. Our subconscious mind, everybody's, but our subconscious mind is what constructs the reality or reconstructs, or however you want to say it. So whatever you believe in, if you believe in yourself or whatever, you're dealing with what's going on inside of yourself, that will be projected outwardly into your reality. And if there's many of us that's doing this, all across the world, what do you think that would do to the overall matrix? Mess it up. Because people have to believe that it's real for it to function. It ain't gonna happen right away. It's not gonna happen right away. I don't expect it. You shouldn't expect it. But expect to make an overall change inside of yourself. Once you come to that understanding, you'll be like, damn, man, this really matters no more for real, for real. Yeah, you hear, yeah, you having the experience or whatever, yeah, you feel what you feel. But when you leave, you don't take that with you. All of that pain that you done went through or whatever, you leave that right here. So therefore, it doesn't get the chance to manifest in the new reality that we created. Don't nobody really know where we going. The new word for it is quantum reality. The old word for it is the duat. That's the ancient word, the duat. Modern word, quantum physics. You go to the Hermetica, they say it's the amenti. You know what I'm saying? You go anywhere else, they call it the underworld. Right? Science, what they say? The electromagnetosphere. All this is a realm, a quantum reality. I keep saying quantum because that's what it is. It's quantum reality. We're so familiar with that. So it's a quantum reality, that's what we're going to. You have to have organic reality about yourself. What do I mean by that? You have to be an original being. You have to possess that light. You have to, because of what's going on right now. A few years ago, I talked about the coronal mass ejections. The coronal mass ejections are solar flares. It's getting hot. You have to have that light. The light that gives you your skin pigment. That's all that is. It's light. It's all of the light, actually. And what that does is it gives you protection against what they call UV radiation. UV radiation is cosmic energy. You have to be able to absorb that. If you didn't have it, you wouldn't be able to withstand what's going on. You wouldn't be able to stabilize it, the free radicals. That's inside of it. So you get skin damage, and you know what's going on. See, it don't matter who you is. If you didn't have this light, we work towards this. If you didn't have this light, it's over with. That was a few years ago. Now you actually feeling that. So all this stuff is important. But ultimately, it goes back to mentally understanding what's going on. Because we can understand what's going on and mentally feel a different way about it. And that will work against us. But first, I feel like self-love. None of that stuff really matters if you don't have no self-love. Person not going to go hard for the community that they say they love and they want to protect if they don't love themselves, if that's what you into. Point blank, period. You don't care about yourself, so how would you care about a community? No, man, you got to get there. Man, it was funny, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Man, you see what they say in the comments? What are they talking about? None of that stuff matters. Nothing. Listen, the most important thing that matters is you. First off, not too much. Y'all the most important thing. That's what I'm trying to get. That's why I say what I say. That's how I break it down. That's how I break it down. That's why I present it how I present it. You see what I'm saying? If nobody told you what it was, you the one that's important. It's 1,000 people that's coming in and telling you different stories and all types of other stuff. And we can sit down and we can try to break it down, right? And that's cool. But where do you fall in and all of that? Don't let nobody else tell you. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of people coming in. I don't care if I resonated with it or not. Cause it be some fly stuff that they be talking about. But you gotta think about this. The spirits that I deal with, the spirits that you probably deal with, is they coming to you telling you this type of stuff? No. Or if they is, then you'd be over there. Figure it out what it is that you came down here to do. I came down here, or we came down here, so we can do this, so we can do that. Now, man, how do you know that? I know we brought our awareness here. I know that. I know that before we came here, we didn't have a physical experience. Because if you break down the primordial worlds, it only breaks down to elements and subparticles, so sub-elements, bacteria and all of that. So that's not physical. I know that. The prokaryotic cells that we made up of, our solar aspect, comes out of light. Eukaryotic cells comes out of this. So we done manifested a physical reality. The earth is a eukaryotic cell as well. The sun is a prokaryotic cell. So that's bacteria light. We manifested that. I know we brought our awareness here. I know we didn't have no experience prior to that. That don't make you lesser than a being. You know what I'm saying? You're actually supreme. You come with everything. Almost like what you starting to learn about your body right now when I be like, tap it to yourself. So we know if we eat right, if we exercise, if we, you know what I'm saying, we get healthy, get our mind together right, our body starts to function on a different level. People start to do miraculous things. Not only though, you know what I'm saying, you know, you got your pineal gland, you know, you got your chakras. I want people just be just talking about that. Then you got the other chakras that you can tap into. You got all these different clairvoyance, clairaudience, all these different psychic abilities that you can tap into once you start getting your body functioning right. It'll never work if you don't love yourself. I'm trying to tell you, we got all these different things. We came here with everything. Only thing we didn't have was an experience. I'm trying to tell you, a cat, a kitten, like a kitten right now. I got a kitten. She'll be grown this time next year, like a full-blooded adult. But her little ass know exactly what to do when she in heat. And then we got another kid. He real little, like he littler than her. He ain't gonna be no adult until like 2 years, right? But when she gets the purring and doing all that weird stuff that they do, he jump right on there and bite her back because he already know what to do. Instincts. Remember I told y'all we got cosmic instincts. Don't let nobody program you and tell you where you came from, who you is. It's time to stop looking at the physical aspect, start looking at the spiritual aspect. We can't go to what's that called? We can't go to ancestry.com because they done sold that to a tech company. So you'd be crazy to go there. It's time to start looking at who he is for real, man. I'm trying to tell you. I don't care who don't care. I don't care who don't want to listen. All I care about is the ones that do. This message for y'all. We ain't got time to be worrying about nobody that don't want to get no light. I'm telling you. It ain't about race. It's about the species and the pedigree of the species. What species are you? And by species, I'm talking about your light. You know, are we star seeds? We this, we that, we this, we that. But you'll have 1,000 different readings and they'll tell you 1,000 different things that will correlate with you. That's only saying that we're everything. And see, but a few years ago, you would probably, if you would have got 1,000 different readings, you would probably only got a few different things. The thing is the energy that we're in right now, the shift that's going on. So all of these hidden aspects of who you are and what you are starting to awaken inside of you. So when a person that's tapped into the psychic abilities that they have when they do in the readings or whatever, they can feel that and sense that. They might don't know what it is for real, but they know where to guide you and give you that. You know what I'm saying? So, but ultimately, it's telling you that you've been everywhere and done everything. I'm saying, man, what you gonna do with that? You gonna take your planet back? The planet that you say is not real? The dimension that you say is a nature, you gonna take it back? It's a school, man. I'm trying to tell you. School for the gods. So you create your God form. And how do you create your God form? By meditation, by having positive thoughts. right? Clearing your mind, eating right, you know what I'm talking about, and you loving yourself. Now, you got somebody named Bobby Hemmett. He always used to say, you don't gotta eat. You don't even gotta eat healthy. You just gotta change your mind and transmutate the energy. So you can take something and you can transmutate the energy in it. People be like, speak positivity into your water, or speak abundance, or speak affirmations into your water before you drink it. It's the same thing. You definitely could do that, but you gotta have your ashe built up. So it's still things that you have to do to spiritually prepare yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you 100 pounds, you're not gonna get 200 pounds of muscle by just sitting around saying I want to get it. You know what I'm talking about? Now, is there a way that you can do this? Yes, there is, but you got to be dedicated. And the person that's just sitting around won't be dedicated to just sit around literally and say these things repetitiously, these affirmations or whatever. You ain't gonna do that. So you got to put the work in. It's the same thing. You got to meditate. You got to visualize. You got to actualize. You got to practice astral projection. You feel what I'm saying? You got to practice mental manipulation, focusing in on things. Star gaze, moon gaze, sun gaze. I'm telling you, meditate in nature, practice yoga, use mudras. All these things, all of them may not work, but you might gain something from all of them. And all of it's out there. I'm telling you, you rather sit around and watch it on TV, or you rather go outside and do it. Best thing you can do is meditate yourself to sleep. Meditate yourself to sleep with the intention that you're gonna go somewhere. And when you do go somewhere, become the observer and gain as much information that you can, and then intellectualize it outside of your dream, right? But when you go back, you want to become lucid. Start becoming lucid. Start just doing little things. Walk down here, float over there, go over there, and then bring it back to your conscious mind. And remember, the best thing you can do is write down all your experiences. It don't matter if it don't make no sense or not, because usually it's a message, and you'll figure out what it is in the later daytime. But it's good because you got to record it. This is also how grimoires, Bibles, and anything, all these other religious texts come about, because people was actually going in and doing that. You know, back in the day, before they really messed our stuff up for real, this is what we was doing. People was going inside and it was recording. And before the prominent religions came about or whatever, it was still individuals that was utilizing too. They called them Gnostics. This is why I always talk about Gnosticism, because Gnosticism wasn't just no one group. Although they did come from Coptic Egyptian, you had multiple multiple systems that dealt in Gnosticism. You had Islamic Gnosticism, you had Christianic Gnosticism, you had the Hindu Gnosticism. It was all types of versions of Gnosis, because all that means is Gnosis. Yeah, it just means Gnosis. Then you have individuals that call themselves agnostic. I was locked up. My cellie told me he was agnostic. I didn't know what that was. He was a black dude. I didn't know what that was. I'm like, bro, what that is? He say, we believe in a higher power, but we don't believe in God or the devil. We don't know if it's real or not. Right? I was religious back then. I'm like, dude, I believe in Jesus Christ. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? I would have fought you behind that. Not knowing what it was, I would have fought you behind that back in the day. Tweaking. So I hate when people come up here and be like trying to talk down. You don't know who I am and who I was. I grew up in a Baptist house. I know a lot about that. Tweaking. I just learned more. And that's why I asked you, who are you? See, that wasn't me. Like I said, I grew up how I grew up, but it still wasn't me. And I knew that. But the belief that everybody installed in me, which wasn't belief, it was fear, made me go against my original thought. Like anytime something happened, I get mad. Usually people will get like, they'd be like, oh well, I'm finna get down and pray. Now I get mad, like shit is happening, why is shit happening? You know what I'm saying? Shit ain't supposed to be happening if this exists. That's how I used to be. And I was a kid thinking like that. Yeah, sometimes I pray. You know what I'm talking about? If somebody was finna die or something, maybe. But other than that, when I get myself in a situation and it don't go how I thought it would go, I'll be upset. And I start to question for real. Nobody could never really answer my questions. So I just started to look into things. And that's how I stumbled across what I stumbled across. I just think it's funny. I don't I don't know. People deal with that for years. It's not a time for religion, not the age of Pisces no more. It's the age of Aquarius. Information. All this information that's out right now. All this information. You don't need to be worshiping the devil. You don't need to be worshiping a god, a goddess, none of that. You need to be understanding the aspects of the energy that they hold. And then understand the different aspects in your mind that correlate to all the different gods and goddesses that in actuality correlate to each other, making your mind that much more complex. But I would urge you, if that's what you're into, to start off with something that you resonate with more. You feel me? Master that and then find something else. That would be your best bet. And remember, everything has an esoteric and exoteric way of looking at it, meaning the light and the dark way of looking at it. You know what I'm talking about? So you see Kevin Gates, you know Kevin Gates is a Muslim, but you know for a fact Kevin Gates is tapped into the spirit. That's because he looks at Islam esoterically. So he looks at the hidden messages in the scripture, basically. And all of his songs, he talking about it. He going back in time. He dealing with the angels. And y'all just think he crazy. No, man, he really tapped in for real. I'm trying to tell you. But listen, y'all. Remember, just love yourself. That's all I want to get at. You know, I'm pro self. I don't care how it sounds. You know, until you see me getting down on somebody, because I used to be that guy. No, I didn't used to be like that guy that what's that word? That manipulated people. No, I want you to know. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a finesse, it was a fanango. You know what's going on. That's the type of guy I was. And that's just not who I am anymore. Because I just don't have the time anymore. It's more to life than sitting down trying to get over on people. I never was a person to try to get over on a person. You feel what I'm talking about? I just get out on you. We can just duke it out. It don't matter what it is. You feel me? But living that life, living that type of life of violence is not for me. It's too much anxiety. You feel me? And this right here, what I'm doing right now, can help me out of that. It was sort of a prison that I was stuck in. Now I'm not stuck in it no more. Now I love myself. My boy earlier said I hate myself. For sure, I hated myself. But why did I hate myself? Because I was dealing with what most people deal with in the world. And it's multiple things. It's not just no one thing. It's multiple things. Because like I said, society has a way set up in life to where you're supposed to look at it, to where you're supposed to have to, how you feel towards things and how you look at things. And if not, somebody gonna look at you crazy. The difference is with me, I don't care how nobody look at me. I don't care. You feel me? The more and more I'm honest with myself, meaning not only just out loud and how to express it or whatever, but with y'all as well, because we reflections of each other. So the more and more I'm just honest with myself, the more and more life works out for me. You get me? Most of us lie to ourselves. You want to talk about? Lie to ourselves, lie to each other. For what? Now, probably come from our childhood. You don't want to lie to your parents, you did something wrong or whatever, but what is wrong or what is right? I used to think that because I was aware of what sex was, I would get in trouble when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So like all the little things that adults knew about, I thought that because I knew about it, I would get in trouble behind that. So all I'm getting at is right now, I know all of what I know right now. This is what I know. And what I mean by this is what I know, I'm talking about the things that I spit and I speak on, I utilize what I speak on. You feel me? Unless it's just something I'm just reading. Because some things I don't take out of the books or whatever, but if I'm reading it, I'm reading it. That's in general. But most things I'm taking on to have a personal experience. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about all that other extra stuff. None of that stuff really matters. What nobody cares about, how they feel about what you know. I don't I don't understand that. I don't understand that. We gotta get over ourselves. But listen, y'all be safe, man. Enjoy y'all night. It ain't it ain't nothing too much going on out here, man. It's cloudy. The bats out. They only come out when I come outside. I don't know why. I have yet to figure out that connection. But they be flying so close. But I love them though. But I don't like the surprises they give me. But yeah, y'all enjoy y'all night. Get outside. I would say moon gaze, but I don't know how the moon look. You know what I'm saying? Work on those feelings that you've been feeling. Because a lot of us are experiencing stuff in it right now. You know what I'm saying? We are elevating, we are tapping into a higher level of self. You know what I'm talking about? And with that, we gotta be aware of what's going on in the times, the time shift. You feel me? Nature is talking to us more than ever. If you sit outside in nature, right, and become like literally aware, I'm talking about become unaware of your physical self, right? And just become aware of your surroundings. Close your eyes and listen to what's going on around you. You start to get messages because all the time nature is talking to us. Like right now, I know y'all hear the little crickets and all that stuff and whatever. If you sat back, they really talking for real, and they're not just saying it's not just chatter. They really talking to you because the universe is a universal sound. You know what I'm talking about? It's a universal sound. So it's always communication going. It's always energy flowing. You know what I'm talking about? If you can pick up on a channel, you can get something that'll work out for you. Is what I'm getting at. You're only going to be able to pick up what you need and what works for you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can share that with other individuals. That's what we do. But ultimately, try to utilize whatever message that you get for yourself and see what it does for you. We be so quick to just be like, y'all look, spirit said this, spirit said that. I don't even be telling people that because sometimes it could be for something else. And then you know how people be looking, they be like, well, I was waiting on this. You said this, you said that, and it make you question your own spirituality. And that's not what you want to do. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I recommend getting outside of nature right now. In the time we in right now, I recommend it. People always talk about it, but right now is the time for sure. You feel me? During the day and during nighttime. So never forget about the nighttime as well. You know what I'm talking about? Because we think the moon, we think the moon is lighting up the quote unquote earth right now, or the street lights and all that stuff. No, it's us. We'll be able to see if we was in pitch black darkness. We the actual light that's walking around here. Don't never forget that. You gotta always remember that. Peace and y'all be safe, man. And look, I'm gonna put this on YouTube. Like and subscribe my YouTube. BabaWati, BabaWati. I'm doing consultations. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up on my Instagram at BabaAkil. It'll be the same picture on all of my platforms. Uh, I have books like a library, so it's not just like I got a lot of books. I got two different libraries. I got my own personal library, and then I got the library of the library of my yacht. I think it's like 1,000 books in there, probably more. You know what I'm saying? We also have another one, but I forgot the name of that one. You know what I'm saying? But y'all want books, y'all hit me up. I'm also taking donations or whatever. It does not matter what it is, but if you send something, I expect to be able to give you something back. That's just what it is. Somebody sent me something the other day, and I told him to hit me up. I know he's not in here because I don't see the name. But I told him to hit me up and he didn't hit me up. So I'm still putting I'm putting this video on YouTube. So when you see this, slide in my DM and get the books that you want. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want no misunderstandings, no mishaps, none of that. You feel me? I don't care if you didn't want nothing. I told you if you send something, be expecting to get something. You feel what I'm talking about? And it just is what it is. Cause we building something right now. Oh, the moon is out. Damn, the moon out for real. It is big. Y'all finna go tap into that. Yeah, y'all. It's about self-preservation. Become the best part of yourself. It's going to sound selfish. It's going to sound arrogant. But what you don't want it to sound like is egotistical. And you don't want to be narcissistic. You feel what I'm saying? You want to love yourself, right? And have compassion for others and allow others to do what they do. Don't try to deter others from their own path and dictate their pace. But don't allow nobody to dictate your pace. And you gotta be able to articulate to people that, listen, I love you, or I have compassion for you, I rock with you, you my homie, but listen, man, or whoever, this is what I'm doing. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't understand none of that or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you gotta be able to respect that. I respect what you got going on. You have to be able to respect what everybody else has going on as well. You feel what I'm talking about? If not, then what are we actually doing for real, for real? There's gonna be some people that doesn't agree, right? But you got to be pro-righteous. What do I mean by that? You got to always stand on your 10, on your square. You know, it's going to be people in your vicinity that does not agree, but depending on your light, they're just going to accept you for who you is. And what I mean by depending on your light, it just means by living your truth. If you live in your truth, they got to accept that. If not, then it is what it is. If you timid, then they know they can get over on you and manipulate you. You know what I'm talking about? And it don't matter. A person to argue with you, all that, like I said, manipulate your mind or whatever. What you back doing? Becoming a slave, a mental slave. So self-preservation. You know what I'm talking about? Self-preservation. No matter how negative it sounds, you know what you're doing personally. Peace, man. I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for being on the live. I appreciate the energy, the negative, the positive. I appreciate everything. Listen, before I go, because it is what today. I don't know what today is. I don't. What is today? Maybe Tuesday, I think. I don't know. But listen, Sunday, y'all, we got a podcast coming up. Me, 360 Alchemist, and what's his name? Well, what's her name? Soul Shine, right? The School of Light and Dark. What's the slogan? Where you are the teacher and the student. So we're gonna do that on Sunday. That's gonna be on 360 the Alchemist's page on TikTok. You feel me? We be talking about a lot of different things, a whole lot of different spiritual topics or whatever, and we're going to try to make it more dynamic and more like diverse, if I say. You know what I'm saying? So the information is like, I don't want to say more in general, but it's touching more individuals because it's more stuff that we have to offer than just this as well. Because when we're talking about spirituality is actually life. So anything that you can bring out of yourself, you know what I'm talking about, should be a part of this information is what I'm getting at. Like I said, it's the school of the light and dark where you are the teacher and the student. So you learning and you teaching as well. You're not just coming there to just, I'm just getting some information. I'm just going to walk off some information. What you doing, harboring? What you learning at home as well. Share that. We in the age of information. So listen, y'all, peace. Don't forget to hit us up. Follow us. Like and subscribe. Hit me up. All that. You feel me? Y'all be safe out there, man. Enjoy your day. Or enjoy your night.